Are we live? I'm not sure. Is there anybody watching now? Let's humanize the workplace. Please let me know if you're live or you can see it. I'm just gonna look at my phone to just check if everything is going well, because I can't see it on from the app. It seems like we are live. Welcome to Let's Humanize the Workplace, first episode of 2020, but this is episode 12 because I'm going to continue from 2019. And my name is 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀. Just going to bring myself up. Bear with me, technology. I'm a nerd, but sometimes technology, I have to look at three screens at the same time, look you in the eye at the same time. So look you in the eye, not at the eye. I'm Dutch, so forgive my Donglish for this moment. But my name is 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀, the workplace wellness advocate. And I have so many exciting guest speakers lined up for the coming weeks, the coming season. But this is all about Let's Humanize the Workplace, which is live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on Twitter, so many pages. So if you want to say hi and drop in, just let me know so that I can include you in the conversation, because today I have an amazing woman I have an amazing woman in the lineup, and we have been building up the tension, the excitement along the way. And Dannique, she is amazing. So I'm going to show you her image of her, and then I'm going to bring her up so that you can see the real Dannique. All these wonderful posts that she has been sharing lately, but also the true bonds that she has been sharing. That made me connect with her, but also connect with her in a way that I want to have a conversation with you. And that's what Let's Humanize the Workplace is all about. Having honest conversation with people, maybe people that I got to know, people that are inspiring me, or maybe the people that I look up on Twitter. I have so many ways to look up people to see who inspires me. And definitely, this is a topic that we need to discuss. So Dannique is going to share something about, does your hiring process make your people, the future people, feel welcome? And we are going to have a inspiring conversation about that. But first, hi, Dannique. Oh, I've muted you. I'll unmute you. So, Dannique, she is a team culture expert. Dannique helps founders and CEO of successful tech companies to keep their team happy and well. She produces bespoke events and workshops that focus on building a healthy and positive company culture. Okay, for those of you that can hear a clicking sound, in the Netherlands, it's not that warm. I'm not in the Bahamas or in Ghana or somewhere warm. So I have my little heater under my desk, which is clicking from time to time. Know that it's not a ticking time bomb or something else. So please, don't send don't send the police on me, but just know that I'm keeping myself warm during this period. Hi, Dannique, welcome.
Hello, Vivian, and everyone on LinkedIn and all of the social medias. It's so fantastic to be live.
Now everybody can see your face. How do you feel? Are you okay?
I feel totally exposed, but it's fine. It's fine. We're here to humanize the workplace and social media at the same time.
Definitely. So for those of you who are watching, I can see a few people watching. So please know that we don't bite. We're very friendly. And if you want to engage in the conversation, just let us know so that we can include you in the conversation. So where are you from? Because I'm broadcasting from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And Dannique, where are you from?
I am from London town in the UK.
So I'm curious if there are people watching from India, because the last time that I did this, it went to Suriname. It went to the US in various locations, but it also went to, I noticed that somebody from China was even watching this broadcast. Wow. So if you're watching this show, and even if are you team live? Are you watching this show live now, or are you team replay? I know, yes, that's how I found you. You engaged in one of the conversations that I had during the online. So you see how fast that things can go, right? She was,
things can change. I was
yeah,
in there really quickly
yes,
because it
definitely.
was so interesting to me, and it's, you know, we just aligned. I love it.
Yes, definitely. So Dannique, I'm going to ask you, not interrogate you, but going to ask you just sort of questions so that we can help companies find the best people. We can help companies make their people feel welcome, but also we can humanize the workplace. But before I start with that, what is your definition of humanized workplace?
So my definition of a humanized workplace would be a place where people, human beings, work together to draw up and design, set goals, expectations, and boundaries, and adhere to them really together, and are happy to discuss things that may go outside of those goals or expectations in a really happy, healthy way.
Definitely, I totally commend that, because what Dannique does is also in my line of area. So making people, building workplaces that can bring out the best in people. I think that's our mutual goal in this. And I noticed that 𝗏𝗂𝗃 is online. So hi 𝗏𝗏𝗃, thank you for watching, and just a shout out to you. The next question: what do you think about HR?
Well,
Be honest.
I'm being honest, and I don't want to upset anybody, so I'm going to keep this really diplomatic. I think
my son is coming. He's going to say hello. Come on.
Okay, let's say hello to baby.
He's not a baby.
Oh, he's a baby. Hi. Night. Good night.
He lost his tooth. He lost his tooth.
Wow. Oh my gosh. You're a big boy now. That's awesome.
Wilt rusten. Ga slapen. Okay.
Oh,
going on to, yeah, he's just 6.5, but he just lost his tooth.
Oh, that's so sweet. He is a baby then.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring it back. That was a really good filler, actually, because now everyone's not like waiting for me to bash HR, which I'm not going to do.
No, we're not bashing. We're dropping some knowledge, right? No.
Yeah, no. This is my perspective. And from what I've seen, HR are frustrated and burnt out at the moment because they are overworked, because they are expected to be everything all of the time. They're expected to play good cop and bad cop at the same time. And that's not the right way to build trust amongst the rest of the employees, because they won't know who to turn to when they're having a good time or when they're having a bad time. So, you know, we need someone to help HR do what they're best at, and that is designing amazing people, policies and processes, and having someone who can just help them deliver those without them feeling like they're taking up all of the or having to bear all of the brunt of whether or not it works.
And don't forget, HR is responsible for the people management, right? I don't see it as human resource management. I see it as talent management. I see it as people management, where sometimes I do feel like that due to the workload of HR and due to the economy a few years ago, or sometimes the company's economy, HR tends to be the backup in many situations. And I want to advocate for HR to become more people-centered, more human-centered, and stand up for the human. And if somebody needs to leave the company, don't strip away their humanness, but leave them with some dignity. Leave them with some, leave them with a lot of dignity, so that they don't badmouth the company or don't badmouth the organization. Because know that the people nowadays, especially with social media, as social that I am, or the other people, you have so many platforms where people can share their experience. And with the generation of now, so I'm not referring towards the millennial, but just the digital savvy generation of now, they share their experience, but also at events, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone will
She's
share
getting
their
all
experience.
emotional.
I know, I'm so emotional. I'm so sorry, guys. It's
Sorry,
very
I'm
late
making
for me.
fun of you. Sorry.
No, it's like I think it's so everyone's willing to share, and nobody has that filter as much as they did maybe when I first started working about only 2 years ago, because I'm like 21, obviously.
Yeah.
But like when I first
40.
when I joined the workforce, we were very scared to be as open as we were about incidents that happen. And now with social media, we're happy to share experiences, and I think it's very tricky for HR to manage that. So I think it needs to start way before someone joins the workforce, where you really sit down and speak to the senior leaders of the team, and you help them. They help you as a HR person to understand the actual DNA and how you want people to experience you as a company.
Yeah. So what you're trying to say is the senior people, so senior managers, C-suite people, need to become allies for HR.
Yes, they need to be more allies, and they need to work with them as opposed to managing them as such. They need to work with HR and really, really, really rely on the experience that HR have in understanding employment law, in understanding people management, and working with them to design the culture that they want for the company.
Yeah. Which brings me to the following question that you had, which is an excellent bridge for this one.
Yeah.
This question.
Okay, how can we build inclusive employee onboarding and induction processes that demonstrate company and human values? Well, my first answer to that, and I'm sorry, I'm answering my own question now.
That's fine. We're having a conversation.
I'm just going to answer my question.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is making sure that your employee or people processes are human. Like, don't think about the AI. Don't think about how you can automate stuff right at the very beginning. Your very first thought should be, I need humans to work in my workplace.
Yeah, but AI, I have to stop you there. But AI isn't all bad. It can, it can minimize the monotonous work processes.
Yeah,
and it can also become an ally for HR, right?
Yeah. I agree. I think it can become an ally for HR, but your first thought should be, how is the new person going to experience us as human beings first and foremost? And once you have that process, then you implement and introduce the AI, because you understand. Yeah, so you understand how someone what the experience of this process is to someone on a human level before you implement a computer or whatever.
Definitely. And I also want to emphasize that after, I see a lot of onboarding programs, whether it's online or offline, paying attention to the first 60 days or the first 90 days or maybe the first 120 days. And I'm like, okay, what happens after that? Is the love gone? Is the relationship gone? Because I see the employer onboarding as an ongoing process, right? You need to build that relationship after those days so that your employee is your next ambassador. Because know that after that, they can still talk. They can still talk positively and negatively. So there is so much emphasis, and sorry, I have to translate from Dutch to English. There's so much emphasis on bringing the people in, branding, employee branding or recruiting. But what about the talent that is already in-house? How can you look into your processes where you can help them grow within the company and maybe grow towards another position within the company? Or am I wrong?
I think it's really tricky. And again, I feel like all of this is lumbered with HR. This is something that needs to be spread across your team. So so a real focus on learning and development should be implemented at the beginning of your hiring process, right through to the end of the employee cycle. And every employee should feel like they are part of the development of other human beings in their office.
Definitely. But then we say a lot of things of HR, and which brings me to the following question: is HR responsible for not only for the workplace culture, but for everything within a company? Because we shouldn't be finger pointing only towards HR.
No. So for me, I don't think so for me, this is always a tricky question for me, because I think really what we need to look at is accountability and responsibility. So HR are accountable alongside the senior leaders to discover what they would like the workplace culture to be. So that's those are the people who are accountable for designing the culture, how people want to experience the company, the DNA of the company, and really pinning down what they want. Someone who is both an internal and external customer of that business. They really need to understand how someone who walks into that business in whatever capacity, how they feel. The employees are responsible for workplace culture because they are responsible for carrying out the tasks that will maintain the culture that has been introduced by the HR and the senior leaders. So everybody is responsible for workplace culture is my short answer, but there's just a difference between accountability and responsibility. Oh, have I lost you, Vivian?
Sorry, there was a small hiccup, but you mentioned everybody is responsible for keeping up the culture. I want to ask another question regarding towards that, because there is one thing that HR together with the senior managers or the C-suite can help define what the workplace culture is. But when you're in a big company, let's say a company of 20,000 people, I do feel that the responsibility should also be with the senior management or the management or the team managers itself that have more control, not control, but more, is control the right word?
I think it's more that they understand the day-to-day, the day-to-day tasks of being on the ground as such. So they understand what's happening on a day-to-day in their various departments. But I think overall, there should be a responsibility from everyone to understand how the entire company works. How does your department work with, so let's say your customer service, how does customer service work with I don't know, the back office team? How do you work with each other? How do you communicate with each other? It's everybody's responsibility to understand that. And if they don't understand the questions, which is why I think HR and C-suite, maybe even the board, the trustees, are accountable for helping people.
Definitely. They should role model, but also provide the toolkits for people to live up towards live up towards the workplace culture, right? So when it comes to leadership, this is a good question. I'm not taking all your questions away. I will share your questions later. But compassionate, I read something about compassionate leadership during your post. So for me, it's just like, okay, this sounds like a paradox. Compassionate leadership. I don't want it to be a me too, right? What is your definition?
I'm losing you.
Are you losing me? I'm still here. I mentioned that I don't want it to be a me too. I don't want it to be a me too. But what do you see as a compassionate leader?
I think the ingredients of a compassionate leader is someone who is kind, informative. Collaboration is at the forefront of everything they do. And someone who is empathetic. I prefer empathy because it means that even if I haven't gone through a situation, I can empathize that someone is feeling bad about a situation that they've gone through. So I think that's really important for someone to empathize, to be empathetic.
Definitely.
And if you mix all of those things in, for me, that will be someone who's a great leader, because you're not saying, I understand everything. I don't expect leaders to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but you understand that someone is in pain, or someone is struggling, or someone needs help.
Mm-hmm.
So that, for me, that's what
But
compassion
understanding is one thing, but I do feel also there needs to be a follow-up. So not only noticing that someone is going through, but just showing genuine interest and asking, how are you? You know, is there something that I can do for you, or can I direct you towards somebody? So can you, I forgot to share something before, but can you maybe share 3 people that you feel fit that label?
Ooh, okay, 3 people. Are they 3 people?
Visible
well,
people.
I don't want to. I don't want to embarrass anyone that I've worked with.
No.
But I'll
You're
say,
not embarrassing me, so I'm not offended if you don't choose me. Just saying that.
I'll go with some. I'll go with some famous role models, because I think that might be fairer. So first, my first one would be @𝗪𝗏. So she's the owner of 𝗪𝗏𝘗 and Beauty Stack now. I think she is she is a compassionate leader. She's informative. She's everything that I described. And she has, so she's recently, I think last year or the year before, sold 𝗪𝗏𝘗, which was a company that was 10 or 11 years old. And she sold it, but she had made sure that all of the people who worked under her have left her company with so many skills that a large majority of them now run their own businesses. So she inspires me so much. Sadie Smith, I love her. She grew up in the same part of London as me. She's a great author, and she tells her story so authentically. And again, if I could add authenticity to a great leader, that would be one of them. And then the last one is our beloved Michelle Obama. She just understands the journey, and she understands it from all people, and she's empathetic.
Did you read her book? And if not, you have to read it.
I'm not going to say, because I feel like my aunt may be watching, and my aunt loves her, so I'm not going to say whether or not I've read the book.
Okay. She hasn't read the book. She has to read it. Tell her to read it now, because I'm your aunt right now, right? Read the book, listen to it, do something. But she is amazingly vulnerable, but also for me, it's the fact that she's sharing her life story and what she went through as a woman is so empowering. So if you haven't read it, or maybe read snippets or listen to the audio, because the audio in her voice, it's amazing. It's like she's sitting next to you and she's reading the book. So
she's telling her story.
I
get that from her on social media anyway. So I like it.
When you were sharing compassionate leadership, there is this one CEO. It reminds me of a CEO somewhere in the States. I don't know what he was doing, but it was something with financial, and I've forgotten his name. So those of you who are watching, if you can help me with his name. He has this fintech company, and he realized that he was making so much money that he decided, he noticed that one of his employees was working a lot of jobs, maybe 2 or 3 jobs besides to maintain, his house, maintain other stuff, and support the children. And he decided to earn a certain amount, 100,000 euros or not dollars or something. And he's very famous for that. I have to look him up, because he took away his own money, and instead of investing it in something else, or investing it maybe in his house or whatever, he invested it in his employees, gave that person a raise, gave a lot of employee raises, and he has a different value when it comes to taking care of his people. I do feel like and I hope when I find his name, I really am going to share this below, because now I'm a bit angry that I don't know his name. But if you know his name, please help me, because he has been into the news with sharing his truth, but also sharing that, helping that employees, and also different employees, for just only working there so that they don't have to get extra jobs to maintain their family or help their family, right? And then there is, okay, you mentioned Michelle. Now I have to look at Beyonce in whatever she does, especially now that ever since she's a mother, she teaches me to just be unapologetic about what you're doing, because you have earned several rights as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and you don't always have to share what you're doing, as long as you know what you're doing and as long as you know how to slay. I have one comment coming up, so let me see who's watching. Dan Price, thank you, Walter. You're the best. Dan Price.
Oh, thank you, Walter.
For watching. I knew somebody knew who I was talking about. So for those of you, let Dan Price know what kind of CEO he is, because he is amazing for what he has done. And there's so much that we all can learn from that, especially, you know, the greedy CEOs or the CEOs who are just filling their pockets and not realizing that they're hurting the companies without recognizing or realizing, you know, that your co-workers are doing a lot. So pay that attribution also towards them. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. His employees earn 70,000 minimum.
Wow.
That was it. Thank you, Walter. You're my new fan. You're my new fan. You're my new fan. Thank you. Oh, I'm loving this. Thank you, Walter. Amazing. Thank you. So I was sharing something about Beyonce. What she's doing, it is inspiring. It is inspiring for me as a mother. It's inspiring for me as an entrepreneur, but it's also inspiring me to stand in my ground and not taking the BS.
Yeah, and just do you in your in your own way.
Definitely. And the last person that I really have to share is Ava. Ava DuVernay, you know, the filmmaker, the one who made Selma, which is linked to Martin Luther King Day, which was yesterday. I didn't pay tribute to that, but I'm paying a tribute to Ava today. What she has done, and there is this quote, I forgot to share it, but I'm going to read it out loud. She shared, "I'm not going to continue knocking on old doors that doesn't open for me. I'm going to create my own door and walk through that." Repeating that quote, but also, you know, marinating, affirming that quote within me. I am in that phase that, not that I don't want to wait. I have been waiting a long time. I've been waiting to be noticed, to be seen. But then I realized that the only way to be visible is for you to be visible. And I'm grateful that I have this platform so that I can have this good conversation with people like you, but also sharing that platform with other people who are not on Ellen DeGeneres or who are not Nikki tutorials or whatever, but you all have so much knowledge to share. And Ava is creating true stories with real people. Not that the other people aren't real, but it's just the day-to-day real people. And that is what's making me love Ava more and more and more.
Yeah, I agree. She's awesome. She's up there with Issa Rae. I love
great, definitely. Great. But going back to hiring talent, right? Because I feel like we have to share that as well. So let me see. You had the following question.
Okay, so who is accountable for building a healthy and positive company culture, the team or the CEO? I'm going to sit back on this one because I think I answered.
Yeah, are you in my head or something? You already I just wanted to share that you already shared that. It's not only about the culture. I do believe that it's a responsibility, like you shared, regarding the co-workers or the employees, but also the employees. But there has to be a safe space to cultivate that. There has to be some foundation to make it all happen. Because if you implement, for instance, workplace wellness, or if you implement a fitness room, but nobody feels safe to use that, or nobody feels safe to do yoga like Nike does, where you can just sport during the week, right? I know Nike is all about emphasizing sport and they live and breathe sport, but not all workplaces are like Google or like Nike or whatever, or Facebook, where people can exercise during their workplace. So try to think like them, try to think like the big giants, but also know that you don't have to wait on the company to make things happen. Ask if they have a budget to encourage your healthy lifestyle. Some of them do, some of them don't. And for those who don't, I would kindly nudge you, encourage you to have something in place, because this is the time that it can be a deal breaker. Like I said, war for talent is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you have to put things in place where you differentiate with your with the other company that does offers all those perks.
I agree. I think it's really important for especially the senior leaders to be on board with initiatives, even if they are not doing them themselves.
Oh, they have to. They have to. They have to make it work. They have to do something. No, really, if you want to see change happen, it's not only addressing change top down, but it's also people see what you do. And if you're not being that role model, then what is the sense of, you know, putting that change top down and thinking they are not doing it, but I'm paying for it? What are you doing?
I feel like it's for me, I'm like, everyone's not going to like everything. But and I always look at the workplace relationship like I do the parent relationship. So my parents encouraged me to be interested in all sorts of variety of things and music and food and whatever, but they didn't always share the same interest or level of interest in the music that I liked or the food that I liked, but they always encouraged me to do what made me feel happy. And I feel like for me, that's how I would like my leaders to be. They don't necessarily have to enjoy exactly what I like. Like, I would never want them to come to a dance hall party with me or something, but I'd like them to understand what that was and encourage me if it made me feel happy to do so. And I feel the same with wellness initiatives. Everyone's
I totally agree when it comes to encouraging and nudging. The thing that I want to address is I see initiative being shared as, this is the way that we have to do now, and this is the change, and we really want to help you, but it's a top-down decision. And that's where I do feel like you need to show what you're doing in this whole in this change, to let people know that it is safe to participate in those activities during work, or it is safe to just take a 20-minute nap to recharge yourself, right? If they're not seeing that you're doing it, or if they're not seeing, you know, other people from senior management levels not doing it, nobody's going to feel safe to do that. And then at the end, you're going to complain and say, I'm spending so much money, but nobody's using it.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe sending a message saying, really happy to see that everybody's using the yoga mats or the ping pong table. If they decide that they don't want to share in it, like, I am not a fan of pool as one of the companies that I used to work for.
Sorry, you're not a fan
I'm not
of
great
what?
at pool or snooker. But I love that they had the table there.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I understand. The pool table.
Yeah, but I love the pool table. So I love that they used it, but I just didn't participate because I just didn't enjoy that. So I would love my leaders to be open, be authentic, say, I'm not great at everything, I'm not a huge fan at this, but if we have a movie night, I'm involved. I love it. I'll
now I'm going to go off topic, because you mentioned something which annoys it annoys me. I'm just it annoys me. I'm seeing a lot of job ads where Friday night there's free beer. we have a pool table. You can go football. What else is there? There's a healthy lunch from time to time, or we can eat pizza. As a woman, or as another person, whatever, I don't feel attracted to that.
Yeah.
And to me, it is sending out some kind of message that is not attracting me.
Yeah. So
And you were mentioning the pool. I thought the swimming pool, but it's a different pool.
I mean, I've worked somewhere where there's a pool, there's a pool table. But I like the idea that it's open. I don't like the idea of alcohol being classed as a benefit. That really, for me, that's a no. I like the idea of, you know, we go for socials sometimes, and the socials could be during the day, at night. I can't always go out at night because I have a child. So I just don't like that. But I think for me, having drinks on a Friday is a way of compensating for the fact that they don't have great company benefits, as opposed to.
Can you preach on that? Can you preach on that?
It's not a perk. It's just because they're not going to pay.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right now. Can you repeat that again? It's not what? It's not a perk, right?
Perk.
Okay.
It's just a nice to have. That's it. It's not a perk. It's just a way of them saying
we're not. It's being brought like it is the holy grail of the best company.
Because they've read a book that says this is what millennials like, and then they put it on a job description or on the job spec, which it's a nothing. It's like saying we have a table and chair.
And it's also even though if a person falls for that job ad, wish them very well, but if they do, it's temporary.
Yeah.
That feeling that they get, it's temporary. It will wear off eventually, and they will go into a different phase. Like you said, you're a mother now, but I'm a mom as well. I have different needs, different phases, and I'm not attracted to that.
Yeah, no, and even if you don't go into a completely different phase, so you're not parental, it's just not a novelty. It's not a novelty anymore. For example, just use an example. I introduced beanbags to a company once, which everybody said, I love this. It didn't make anyone want to stay at the company for longer than, you know, until the novelty just wore off. It's like, we need to be actually giving people real human things that are going to
be beanbag.
Yeah. They were big.
If that beanbag wasn't, you know, with Beyonce on it,
you're like, no.
Okay, now time for the serious part. Can you share 3 examples, biases regarding inclusive diversity?
I mean, I can share more than 3, but I'll give you 3 now. So
you have 3.
My first. Yeah, okay. I promise I won't go over. So my first one, I think we touched on already, is parental. So there are some parental biases. We really, really, really need to look at our maternity, paternity, adoption leave, APR. Like, we need to really address it and bring it into the modern day.
And also include the men. Not only for women, include the men, because there are some fathers that really want to help their partners.
Yeah, and same-sex couples, you know.
That's why I try to share partners, because you don't know which partner they are. So include them, and even if they're adopting a dog, it's still a baby.
And for me, I also, when I say parental, I also mean while someone is pregnant at work, when someone chooses to be a foster carer. You know, these are the things we really need to think about, because at the moment we're isolating a large group of people or penalizing them because they choose to be parents. So I think that's one bias we really need to address. The next one for me is a huge one. We are still really, 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 really bad with disability and accessibility. I am so disgusted that we are still here. It's 2020, and this is where we are with accessibility and disability, learning difficulties, everything from the hiring processes, not having forms that are accessible, to how do you, if you do eventually get someone who is in a wheelchair, how do they get into your building? All of these
Not
things.
only that, where can they go to the toilet, right? Because they have to, I mean, sitting in a 20-story building where they only have to go with the lifts to go downwards to have access to the toilet.
It's bizarre to me. It always made me laugh to think where companies I've worked at, we have disabled toilets, but how do the disabled people, how do they get to the bathroom? Like if you are in a wheelchair, how do you actually get to that bathroom? How do you get up the stairs? What happens when there's a fire alarm? We are still failing in that
Not
area.
only that, I do believe that there are some industries even that people don't look towards people with disabilities, because I don't know why, but to me it feels like it's a hassle, and we don't want to do the hassle. And when you're complaining about I cannot find talent, and you're not hiring people or giving them the benefit of the doubt so they can show you their talent, then why are you predicting that you're inclusive? Why are you predicting that you're diverse? You know,
and it's a bit hypocritical, because one of the greatest people who anyone would have in their workplace would have been Stephen Hawking, right? So it's absolutely absurd to me. It's just that one really gripes me. And I'm sure I've posted about it a few times. And then the last one for me is internships, which I think we just have to have a completely another conversation about.
Before you go further, I recently had a conversation where I didn't reply. The only thing that I said was wow, but I was engaged in a conversation where an intern sent a cover letter with a resume, and the other one didn't send a cover letter but did send a resume. And the comment that was made was, well, we declined the other one because she didn't send a cover letter.
It's an intern. Like, there's just so many things wrong with it. But the biggest thing for me is that it's still internships still really, really, really are not give no thought to low income and underprivileged individuals, and that's a major thing for me. So I think that's another topic for us, but it's another conversation.
Do you see she's hinting for me to invite her back for another topic? I got it already. But she's doing it again, so I'm hearing it, and I'll definitely go to do that. No, I totally agree. It's a different topic and a different era, but also seeing interns, like I was one of the lucky who negotiated a full salary for my internship, because here in the Netherlands, the intern pay, it's like 300 euros per month. And note that the students nowadays, sometimes they even have their own house or their own room that they have to pay. And they, besides working 35 hours or 60 or 40 hours, they have to also work, their student job. And we are complaining now that we cannot find talent, but you're not investing in the next generation.
No. I think one of my connections, and I can't remember who it is, so I'm really sorry if you're watching, but I will, if it comes back to me. I think it was Lolo. She shared a post about an internship, actually requesting for the intern to pay them. So
what?
The intern
what?
So if you're an intern at this company, you pay them a monthly fee for as long as you stay with them as an intern.
Okay, I don't know how to go.
It's for me, I just think there just needs to be a whole, like, either we just scrap this or
this is your. I'm lost for words because internally I am beyond myself that a company is asking that. Is it a high level company that is doing this, or is it?
I can't remember which company it was. And when I find the post, I will reshare. I should have reshared it. Actually, that's naughty of me. But yeah.
No, it's not naughty of you. The fact that you're bringing this up is already a way of resharing, right? But I'm curious now. I want to know because this here in the Netherlands, is it in the UK that this happened or somewhere?
No, it wasn't in the UK. I think it was either the US or South Africa, but I don't want to say for sure. It definitely wasn't in Europe, but I'll find out. But if it's a huge if it was a huge company, they'd have a European arm to it, I'm presuming. So somewhere along the line, people have agreed that this is okay.
I am beyond.
Don't pay for internships. Do not pay for internships.
No,
do not need to do that.
Definitely.
Google what you need to learn, or find some other way of skill sharing with someone else.
Yeah.
Do not.
And also know that there are companies who do internship remotely, right? So know that, especially now when we live in a digital age where you can talk to whomever you want to talk, especially Twitter. Twitter is the best to connect with people, and also LinkedIn. Don't forget about LinkedIn. But I am shocked. I'm still shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked as well, and I will share it. And I think it was Lolo, but I'll double check to see which connection it was. But yeah, terrible. Yeah. So those are my three. There are plenty of others, but those are definitely at the forefront of everything I do at this point, and trying to help companies really become aware of, especially the disability one, because it's just it's disgraceful.
It's on so many levels. I mean, recently a lady post, she has green hair. I forgot her name, but she has green hair, and she's also sharing truth bombs about don't use D&I, so inclusiveness and diversity, on the special days. So yesterday was Martin Luther King Day, and all of a sudden all the companies are posting, "Ooh, Martin Luther King Day, there is a dream," etc. But what are you doing on those other days?
Day to day.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's huge here in the Netherlands when it's Pride time. Yeah. And every big company is sponsoring a lot of every big. I'm not going to share names, but what I do hope is that we go beyond window dressing.
Yes.
And beyond commercializing the Memorial Days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to feel that when I come into a company that your culture oozes that you support whoever I am and whatever I do.
I'm just included. I don't need to have to look a certain way or be a certain way. I just want to feel like people will welcome me into the company, and I feel welcomed. I'm able to sit at a table, a chair, or people have accommodated if I have a special requirement. I just want people to feel welcome in an environment in exactly the same way you would welcome a guest in your home.
I want hot sauce in the restaurant.
It was hot sauce. Oh, well, I will say hot sauce was provided where I used to work. That was
I'm just looking at Beyonce and I'm just thinking about what she said. Hot sauce in her bag, yes. So last question, because there's so much that we
you're gonna have to
talk
take it
about,
out the
but
bag.
She's doing it again. People, are you seeing that? She's hinting me. Okay. So the last question. What is your wish for the future of humanizing the workplace?
My wish. So my wish is, I have so many wishes, but one of my wishes that, employees are viewed and treated as assets as opposed to risks.
Yeah.
I want I want senior leaders, I want C-suite folks, I want HR people to know that your employees are your assets. They're not risks. If you treat them well, they will return the favor. If you don't, then they will become risks.
And also what I would like to add on, I agree. And also what I would like to add on, not only from the levels above, but also interact, how do you say it, on the same horizontal level, right? The team members value each other as people, instead of seeing each other as co-workers, because we do spend a lot of time during the day at work. And the moment that somebody doesn't feel appreciated or feel connected in the workplace, that's when you have to really think about your company culture and also think about what you can do to bring that connection back. Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I think. And I think we should be, I really hope that we start looking at things before things escalate. So before things become a workplace bullying scenario or situation, we really are able to help people communicate much better and talk to each other, because, you know, there will be days where we disagree or some miscommunications happen. But I think with HR and the senior leaders, they should be the example of how you manage small conflicts, and how you bring.
And if they don't know, hire people. Dannique, Vivian, hire people. Like, you don't have to know all the things, right? You can hire people from outside who have a different perspective, who can look beyond the scope that you already have, and bring more of that human savviness in the company, in the workplace where it needs to be.
Yeah, I said definitely having an impartial set of eyes is super helpful, which is why I created Cultured Insights.
Yeah, you survived. Let's humanize the workplace. So what do you think? What do you want to share? What's your final note that you want to share with others? First of all, Dannique, or that way, where am I pointing? That woman, this side. I'm like doing the Egyptian. Dannique, follow her.
Follow me. Follow me on LinkedIn. I also have an ebook which will be coming out soon, which will help you put together get some awesome ideas for your hiring process and recruitment processes. So watch this space. And you can always just contact me, and we can talk if you feel like I can help you in any way, shape or form.
Definitely.
I love everybody.
Yes, definitely. But when you connect with people, or when you send an invite, there is something that Dannique and I agree on. Please let us know why you want us to connect with you, because I do feel like sometimes it feels like somebody's entering your house without sharing why you need to talk to them or why they want to connect with you. And it's just a small note. You don't have to send us a love letter or write us a poem. Just a small note showing that you care and that you want to support us, right? Or whatever question that you want to ask.
Yeah, please just contact us as though how you would want someone to contact you.
Definitely. Thank you, Dannique.
Thank you so much.
Just one thing that I wanted to share, because I forgot about this board. So before I did this, I was sharing with Dannique that I was anxious. I was getting nervous. There's this introvertness that's getting nervous and excited at the same time. And these are my board of directors who I look upon to get my inner Vivian back, or get that savviness back. And one of the ladies that I admire, and the quote that I really held dear, I shared Ava's, but I also feel like I need to share Maya Angelou. And her quote is, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never, ever, ever forget how you made them feel." And which is so connected with the workplace.
Yeah.
Something to add on, Dannique?
No, I love that, Maya Angelou. I love her. I love that quote.
Yes.
Because I it happens all the time. There are things that have happened in my life, and I can't remember the incidents in detail, but I just remember I didn't feel good.
Yeah, definitely. So I wanted to share the episode of upcoming Thursday. So Thursday, will be doing my first Let's Humanize the Workplace in the Netherlands in Dutch. So it will be all Dutch. Note that every Tuesday will be in English and twice a month will be in Dutch. So that's why I'm introducing 𝗏𝗏𝘁'𝘀𝘁. Same time as today, but know that it will be in Dutch. For those of you who are speaking English or talking English, just skip that one. It will be in Dutch and I cannot translate it. I'm sorry. But next week, I don't have a guest for next week, but what I will do is talk about team building. So it will be me, myself, and I. And for those of you who want to engage, join the party, that's fine. We'll talk about team building and why it seems to be dead.
Yeah. That's an awesome topic.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I think this is my last slide. Thank you for watching Let's Humanize the Workplace. And if you're watching this team replay, I'm getting mush. If you're watching the replay, please let me know what you think. And also, if you're watching live, please let me know afterwards. I hope to see you the next time or next week and share it with others. I mean, sharing is caring. And let me know if there is another topic that you want to address or want me to address, or if there is something that you do. I must, invite the next guest speaker. Just let me know, reach out and I'll say hello. So yes, okay. If you break it down to basic, how do you humanize the workplace? How do you humanize the workplace? That's a very interesting question, 𝗏𝗏𝘁'𝘀𝗏. So humanizing the workplace, it's all about how you can be the best you in the workplace. And that's nothing that, it's not the breakdown, it's more that you embrace all the different qualities and all the different values, right, from the people. Do you have something to add on? I'm seeing a lot of comments now popping up all of a sudden.
So how do you humanize the workplace? I think there are so many ways you can, and there are so many layers. But it starts with what I think we shared about being a compassionate leader. And even if you're not a leader, as in the definition or in title, just portray, just have those elements about you. Be compassionate, be kind, be empathetic, be informative. Learn some skills yourself and share them amongst your team.
Yeah, and also don't be afraid to ask people, to train yourself, right? Because not everybody has the empathy skill or the compassion skill. So that's something that you really need to train to put that back and treat people like humans. Definitely. Thank you, Stormtroop. I hope next time you'll be watching as well. I really loved it. And Walter, and there's someone else, Kingman P. Don't know who you are, but thank you for sharing the love, and hope to see you next week. It will be a weekly episode on Tuesday. So thank you very much. And until next time. Wow, everybody is all over a sudden commenting. So many comments right now. I can hardly keep up. Thank you all. Thank you all. Yes. Until next time, and please stay. Don't go away, Dannique. I'm ending the episode right now. Bye.
Bye.